Just remember to drop your name and where you're joining us from. We're excited to have you back again. Joining us, remember to drop your name and where you're joining us from. You're welcome. We're excited to have you in the call. Just joining us. Start in the next 5 minutes. Remember to drop your name and where you're joining us from. and it's 11 a.m. West African time. You are all welcome. If you are just joining us, please remember to drop your name and where you're joining us from. So we move straight into today's session. It's day 2 of the 3 weeks training. Like we mentioned yesterday, the training we hold every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. West African time. Please remember to join and also encourage your friends, your colleagues to also join us in the training. Okay, so, and a quick one just to kind of remind you of the timeline for the event, as you are all aware. So quickly to that, so we have, so we've had the masterclass kickoff and formal briefing, which held last week, 18th November 2022. And then the learning kickoff, which started yesterday, you've been part of it, and we hope that you continue to be a part of it. So this will happen 3 times a week, like I mentioned, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. West African time via Zoom, and to also be streamed live on YouTube. So you can always have access to the training after this session. And then you can also share with your colleagues and friends. Then remember, registration closes 30th of November 2022. So do well to register and ensure that you also help your friends or colleagues to join the training. Okay. So the hackathon application kickoff and workshop we also hold. That will be 28th of November 2022. Please remember to attend this. It's important so that you get to just pick important information that also will help you in the at the hackathon by the time it starts. All right. So solution submission is, we end by 18th of December. So you have till 18th of December to submit your solution. And lastly, on this is the fact that you need to join the project group on Africa Geoportal. We've sent this link to you. You can also pick it there, and I will also try to drop it in the chat page so that you can pick it there. Remember to join Africa Geoportal. This is very important for you to just get access to some of the data set that we have prepared for you. All right, so for today, we'll be going straight into this session, and that will take us to introduce our facilitator for today. It's the same person that you met yesterday, my colleague here, which is Wari. So he will be leading us today to kind of just dive deep into the part of the Africa Geoportal to learn a few things from there today. So welcome Wari to the call. It will be the next face you'll be seeing. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Abel, for the wonderful welcome. Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of Geospatial class, Geospatial analysis with ArcGIS online. So I'm excited to be here, and I also hope you are excited. And we also learned a lot of things during our last section yesterday. So I'll be sharing my screen soon. You kindly confirm once you can see my screen. Okay, can you confirm you can see my screen? Okay, so I'll share it again. Apologies. Okay. So Abel, can you confirm you can see my screen now?
Okay, so your screen is loading. Let me just, in the next few minutes, it should be all.
Okay. Let me see from the chat window, not yet. Okay, so once it comes up, not yet, everyone not yet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this, I'll stop sharing my screen. Can you see my screen now? Can I get feedback from the chat window? Yes, it's up here. Thank you. Apologies. So, good day, everyone, and welcome to our section. Okay. Sorry. Stop sharing and sharing. Okay, can you see my screen?
Okay, I believe it will come up. I'll probably just leave it for it to share. Give it some minutes to share.
Perfect. Apologies. Okay, so we'll begin our lecture today with introduction to GIS and spatial analysis. This is a continuation from our previous class. So today we'll focus more on vector analysis, deep dive on the various vector analysis today. So this is an overview of what we'll be doing in today's class. Where our main focus just going to be on the vector analysis and analysis with and vector analysis with Africa Geoportal on ArcGIS. For the raster analysis and with also the analysis with Africa Geoportal on raster, and also the Python analysis with ArcGIS. We'll be doing that on Friday. That's going to be day 3. So a recap of what we did yesterday in our previous class. So we worked on various vector analysis in our previous class, just basically on how you can load your data and also how you can also summarize your data. So we also looked at also the various applications of GIS in solving problems. We explained various types of spatial data, vector, and raster, and we also did a deep dive on spatial tool, that's the ArcGIS online platform that's provided to us by Africa Geoportal. Now, with that said, everyone is advised also to join our platform on our group. For those already on our platform, you can also witness that you have access to ArcGIS Pro currently, which was sent to your mail. So if you've not joined the platform, you're missing a lot. So I advise everyone to join our platform there. Then with that said, sorry, Then with that said, so we begin our classes on vector analysis. So I'll walk you through the use of vector analysis with ArcGIS online version. So when you understand vector analysis, when we explain that various analysis that has to do with vector and also that has to do with raster images. Now, vector analysis consists of, there are different types of analysis you can use with vector. There's what we call buffering of your data for the vector analysis. Then we also have, which is also called a single layer analysis. Then we also have a multi-layer analysis, which consists of various tools such as the overlay, the clipping, spatial join, and also network analysis. So multi-layer analysis has to do with analyzing more than one data. So when you're trying to analyze two data together, so for example, you're trying to analyze locations of health stores, and also you're trying to also analyze locations of conflict data. So that's when you have to do multi-layer analysis. But a single layer analysis just has to do only with just a single data. So for example, you just have health locations or health sites, and you don't need to do a buffer. So a buffer means, buffering means increasing the width of the data of your vector data. So you can do a buffer on a point data, on a line data, on a polygon data. So this is one of the useful analytics to use for proximity stage. So also used also for what we call neighboring. So you need to know what's within a particular location at a particular given range. You can use the buffering in doing that. There's also another tool called buffering. Dissolve. So the dissolve is done on the polygon data. The dissolve is done on the polygon data. So for the dissolve to work, you have different polygon data, polygon in a multi-polygon data. You can just use the dissolve to get all this data into one single value or one single polygon for your use. Then we also have the mesh tool also. So the mesh tool also, you can merge one or two data together using different correlation or using difference with the intersect with each other. Then we also have the pattern analysis. Pattern analysis is always very useful also. It's always very useful too for neighboring. So you want to use like a nearest neighbor, what's within my environment. So like, for example, like I'm using an example of health also. If you have your health store, you want to know, okay, at this health site or this health store, what's within it? Are there the environmental variables within it? Are they clean waters around there, and also are there schools around there? And also, is it close to a very busy road? There are also very various factors you need to know what is within you. So those are very important when you're using like a nearest neighbor analysis. So moving on this also, I'll show you a sample of what a buffering looks like on a geometric view. So this sample of buffering, so you have a point, and when it tries to buffer within a range. So for example, you are buffering within a range of like 10 kilometers of that particular point, like your school or your house. You are trying to say, okay, within 10 kilometers of that environment, what is there? So that's the buffering point. You also have a line point also. So like I explained in the last class, lines can be roads, lines can also be river. So you can say, okay, if you increase the river of a location, or if you increase the width of the river of a location, what will be affected? So that's when you can also see things like houses being in proximity to river or water body. So in cases of flood, like what we experienced in Nigeria at months ago. Then we can also look at also polygon buffer also. So polygon buffer, most time it's being really used, but sometimes you might need to use polygon buffer at where need be. Then we also talked about the merge and the dissolve. So if you look at this little description of this dissolve, and also you can also append. So you see dissolve, you see different layers. Your vector data are geometrical layers. So you see different layers at, like, for example, you see 1 and 1, which you're trying to like dissolve them into a particular single value or merge them into. So if you see the second one, that's the item B, you see that 1 is being dissolved into one value. You also see 4 and 4 being dissolved into one value. So there are various use cases you might also be needing them for. So as a typical example of this dissolve is, let me say, there are different admin boundaries in the world and also in Nigeria. Let me use Nigeria for example. We have the state, we have the local government. So a typical example here can be like your state should be your local government. When you dissolve your local government together, it gives you a particular state. You can also append data together. Either you append it on top or you can append it by the side. Then you also select. Select is also another tool that you can also use in single data. Okay, so okay, then we also look at the multi-layered example. So can you confirm you can hear me and receiving feedback from here? Okay, can you confirm you can hear me? Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah, loud and clear. Awesome, awesome. So we have this multi-layer. So on the multi-layer, you can see different layer. You can see where you can do a union. You can also, that's when you bring two different layers together. So for example, you might have a raster, a vector data from somewhere else. Then you want to bring a union and put it on top of your admin boundary, because admin boundary is one of the mostly widely used vector layers that people use, because you want to understand what you have on a location. You want to understand with respect to what you have on a broader, well-known boundary, that's local government and states. But we also have intersection also. So intersection is also widely also used. So you need to know, like, it's a very typical example of intersection it's this. So for example, you need to know if you have a river running on if you have water body, for example, if you have like a flood, you need to know what land area did this flood intersect with. That if you have flooded and you want to understand if it has been affected by flood and how, and quantify the effect of this flood on different infrastructure. You need to layer that flood data and also that infrastructure data together. We intersect it to see what areas we are affected. You have symmetric differences. We also have clip. And we also have erase, and we also have where you can split data, your geometry. Then we've talked about on the various vector analysis. Now, our tool of use is ArcGIS Online, which is provided to us by Africa GeoPortal. And the geoprocessing tool we're using on this ArcGIS Online, it's at the menu bar, which is called Analysis. So if you look at it, it consists of 6 categories of data. So they grouped each of the analytic tools into 6 categories. So, and it has close to 30 plus tools in each of the category. So you can click on, if you see there's an icon here, which you can click on. So you can click on these icons to understand like a summary or overview of what these various tools are all about. Then with that, you can also, let's look at an example with summary data. So summary data has about 5 tools in use. So out of these 5 tools in use, you can see this aggregate point, you can see this join feature, also you can summarize nearby. So we used aggregate point in our previous class when we tried to calculate the number of health sites in an admin boundary tool in Kenya. So you can also see join feature. Where we can join various various data sets together based on either proximity or based on similar features or similar columns in each data set. You can also summarize nearby. So summarize nearby is like the way ArcGIS simplifies buffering for you and also counts. So there's when you want to know the number of you have a health store and you have like a conflict around that health store. You want to know the number of conflicts within that hail store at a particular radius. So this summarized nearby it just gives you different options for you to select the type of from where you want to calculate, that's your health store, and also the distance also which you want the range of coverage to be like. You can also count the number of conflicts in that area, and you can also there's what we call summary statistics, give you statistics based on external variables in the conflict data. Then we also have another tool that summarize within, so whereby any data that intersects within it, it tries to summarize. Either gets the count, the group, or nearest neighbor by. So we're going to start our hands-on section soon. So a quick reminder, you need to go to Africa Geoportal to be able to follow this hands-on section, just because that's where most of our hands-on sections are. Now I'll give you a limitation. However, the Africa Geoportal, the ArcGIS Online, has limitation because there are not many analytics that you can do. It didn't pack all analytics. That's the reason why once you join this group, we'll give you a license so you can use ArcGIS Pro. So ArcGIS Pro provides you various analytics and very more complicated or more complex analytics tools for you, which you can use. So you need to join the platform for that. Then this is our group. Is a reminder, this is our group. So currently we have 120 members. This is an improvement from 80 we had, and we also have a new data set. We have 830. So I think most people are joining, which is a good one for all of us. So this is the link to join the group. So if for you, done. For our analysis with Africa Geoportal, we're doing analysis with Africa Geoportal. We're able to work with our vector analysis, which we've already mentioned at the beginning of our class. So these are data sets we'll be working with. We are bringing the health site once again, which we're working with. We're also bringing in also the true boundary, which we worked with during the last class. And we also bring in the conflict data. So I'll give you a bit of, so the conflict data, these are data points, also admin boundaries that contains conflicts. So this data is gotten from armed conflict location and event data projects. So data from these are most times are crowdsourced, and also most times they're also verified. So the interface we'll be using for this class is Africa Geoportal, and there'll be 3 big takeaways from the analysis we want to do. So these are the questions, what we want to find out. We want to know which areas are they more prevalent in conflicts in admin boundary between Kenya. We also want to know where the health facilities located in relation to this conflict data, because we have points of this conflict. Then we also want to know the distance from the conflict location to the health facilities. So, once we have conflict, whether it's protest or riots or even battles, normally it's not always breezy, because there's liability that people get injured, and once there's no proximity to health facilities in that location, it becomes issue. Someone might die because we got injured, it might die because of loss of blood while going to a health site because it's far away from its location. So we'll try and answer some of these questions and bring this analysis. Now, also another thing also, why bringing in mobility data in this? So we'll try to understand what pattern is similar when there's a conflict in an area. So do people tend to move away from that location to that location? And also, this movement has to do with, do people also move away in the respect that, there's no more health facility in their area and they got injured during that conflict, so they had to move to the closest health store where they can get more health treatment. So these are the basic questions we'll be answering on our hands-on section today. Okay, with that said, we'll move on to our hands-on class. So I'll be sharing my screen on that soon. So if you have any questions, you can ask a question on the chat window while I set up my screen for the hands-on class. So we need you to confirm you can see my screen now. So if I can get feedback on the chat window. Yes, perfect. Okay, I can move on now. Okay. So this is our interface. A reminder on how we got here, you can go towards Africa Geoportal online and click on the map menu bar. So this is just a reminder for those that are just joining in for the first time. Those are in our last session. So I'm just showing you how to access the map viewer for analysis. So it is Africa Geoportal, so you can click on this, then take this away, then your platform is ready for your analysis. So the first thing I'll be doing for this analysis has to do with, So the first thing I'll be doing for this analysis has to do with, I'm going to add my various data, like I've said previously. I need to add my health data. I need to add admin boundary data. I also need to add conflict data. But first, I would change my base map because this base map has too much details. I don't want too much details for now. So I'll make it a very simple base map, like what we did in the previous class. You go to your base map here. So you can select the one you like based on your visual appealing you like. So I'll change this to light gray canvas because it doesn't have to do with too much colors. So this is the light gray canvas now. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to add my data. I'm going to add my health data on this. So for me to add my health data, as previous class I did, I'll search for Kenya Health. So I can search for Kenya Health here. Okay. So Kenya Health. So it pops up, already have this, okay, showing my content. I'm searching for my content, that's why I can't see. I'm just seeing only what I've already analyzed previously. So I can change from my content here to my group, that is this Geospatial group platform. So then I can click on Kenya Health site, which was already uploaded, did in the previous class. Then you can see the overview and I click on the add to map. However, you can click on this button directly if you don't want to see the overview of details here. So this is my Kenya Health site. So now the first question I would want to ask why I add this is I'm going to add also, I want to know where there much conflict in a particular admin boundary. So why I add my health site also, another thing I want to go to is I want to add data on conflict. So we already have data on conflict already. So I can search for my layer still in my group and I search for conflict. Although this data currently is not available for other countries, but it will be provided on the platform soon on our group. So I can filter it to my group and say, I just want in Geospatial Mobility platform. So it doesn't show. So I'll use another stage keyword. I use Kenya. So if I scroll to Kenya, it does not show to. Okay, so I can search on my content. I think it should be in my content. Okay. So this is, okay, sorry, is my content. So this is Kenya conflict. So you can click on the Kenya conflict. This is it. And it add it to map. So these, so you can see it's being rapidly full everywhere. So you have your Kenya conflict, you also have your health site also. Now, let me select this out. Now remember this polygon where you had to remove it in the last class since we'll not be needing polygon data for point location. So I can click here and click on the remove. So it's I remove my layer. Then I go back to my Kenya conflict. So this Kenya conflict data. So these are a wide range of data. The conflict data starts from 1997 to 2022. So it's pretty up to date. So for me to get an overview of these, I can sort descending. So this is 2022, 18th November 2022. I can also sort ascending to see what's like so it's on 15th January 1997. So for this conflict data we want to analyze, I just want to filter it. I need just conflict that happened in September 2021 to November 2021. So I just want the name of September, October, November within that range. So what I'll do is, like I filtered in the previous class, I click on this option to filter. So this is another option to filter. In the previous class, we used this to filter. So anyone based on what your preference is. So I click on what variables do I want to filter by. So the variables I want that should be filtered by, it should be date time. So this is the timestamp, sorry. This is event date. So this event date, these are measured based on the time the event happened. So the event date, I want it to be between September. So it shows me a date time variable. I want 2021. I want September, from the 1st of September, between September to November to 30th November. So this is 2022. So I change 2021, 30th November, and I click on the apply filter. So this shows me, so I have just 130 conflicts within that period from September 2021 to November 2022. So I can style, so if you observe based on, because I've looked at this data before, so based on looking at it causally, you observe most of the conflicts are coming in Nairobi, Kenya. So Nairobi is one of the most populous location in Kenya. So I'll style this now. I need my conflict to appear like it's something that calls to attention. Conflict. I'll style it to color red. So what I need to do is I go to my style option. So this three-dotted sign here. I click on option here and go to symbols. So at this symbol, I can change my color to color red. I need color red. And I also want to reduce the symbol size. So I can reduce the symbol size to 15. Then click on OK. So I've styled this already to red. So now I'm done with my conflict data, which I've already added here, which are the number 130. I need to click on OK. If I don't click on OK, it does not affect these changes for me. So I click on OK here and I click on done here. So when I'm done with this now, what I need to do next is to add my admin boundary. Like I said previously, admin boundary. With the last time I added admin boundary, I had to show you another way using a URL based on well-known source of admin boundary from Kenya. That's the RMC RD. So, but now I already know that once I search for it here, if I search for admin boundary in Kenya, sorry, it's not in the group, it's on the general platform that's in the organization, African Job Portal Organization. If I search for Kenya admin, so if I scroll down, so I can see admin from RCMRD. So it's the host of the Kenya admin we used in the previous class. So I need admin boundary 2. We've done this in the last class, then I add to map again. So this is a reminder or recap what we did in the last class. So when you come here, You can go to details, you can go to content. So this is the admin boundary. I want to move my admin boundary down so I can see my conflict at my health site. So I come here and I drag my variables downward. So this is how it looks like. Another thing I want to do is also, I want to reduce the opacity of the field. I don't want it to have more color. I just want just the border to be filled. So what I need to do next is I come here on my styling. So I go to option. So I go to symbol here. So on this symbol, this is my styling variable. So I can reduce the opacity here. So I reduce it. So I need to increase the transparency. Yes, transparency. I go to the outline. I can change the color. Let me use a more darker color. Yeah. So if I change it, so this is how it looks like. So you can style it based on your own visual want, on how you want it to look like. So this is how it's been styled. Another thing also I can also do is this. Now you can see different locations here. I didn't add them, they come naturally from the base map I added. And I can take them off if I want to. So I will come here. This represents variables gotten from my base map. So I can come here, open this, and go to light gray reference. So these are the names, reference name of these locations. So I can come here, I can remove this or set visibility range if I still want it to be there. So I can set visibility range, transparency. So I can increase the transparency so you don't really see it. So once I increase the transparency, it's no longer there. Alternatively, I can remove it. So I'm not removing it because I might need it to look at locations where I have more insight in. So I leave it that way, they are not there. Then I can then bring in my own kind of visual, my own kind of label. So this from the admin boundary, I'll click on this admin, sorry. I go back, admin boundary, click on direct click, then you create labels. So the create label, I want to create labels based on the name too, since it's admin boundary too. So this is the name to admin boundary too. Then I put all of that, put a background white values in it. I want to change the font to Area Unicode MS. So this how it looks like. I can disable it if I want to, but it looks good this way, so I can know the different quantities we have in various data. So the next thing I want to do, like what we did previously, I'll just summarize this data in each of the admin boundary. Still a recap of the last class. So what I need to do is, remember, I'll go to analysis, then I go to summarize data. Then we have this aggregate point. So aggregate points, you want to count the number of conflicts in each admin boundary. Now, remember, the question is, where are health facilities more prevalent in each admin boundary? That was our first question. So this is Kenya conflict data, which that is points to consider. And we choose a polygon, which is the Kenya admin boundary. So leave areas without point. Now, there's another thing very interesting to this statistics. Conflict data also comes with number of casualty in each of the conflicts. So we can add casualty in it. So we can also sum the casualty. So why it counts the number of conflicts in it? It also add another variable also, that's another column in it that shows what's the number of conflicts in each of the admin boundary. Then when I then go down, then the output of this is going to be, I'll call this conflict per admin boundary Kenya. Then I will run my analysis. Another thing that you can also look at also is the aspect that you can also look at the number of credits that this is. So you can also look at that, okay, this credit is 0.119. We have about 100 credits, so it's not much. So yeah, you can then run this analysis. Okay. Okay. The data is still loading for now. So if you have any questions, right, analysis or the you can ask. Someone is asking a question on the client. So you will receive it on the platform soon. You receive it soon. Okay, Christina, you can see them now. It's on a different, okay, it's on a different page. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so I think our data has finished running. So there's a mistake here. We only made allow it to run on our current extent. So it didn't cover the whole location here. So what we can do is we can also run this again. So you go to analysis, you go to summary aggregate points. So this is the mistake we did. I'll show you over here. So this is, you could call this the still admin boundary. Statistics has to do with fatalities, so the sum of fatalities. So what the mistake we did is we only used the map estimate, like we didn't zoom into everything. So that was the reason why it couldn't cover locations like Tukanda. Yeah, this Tukanda, I couldn't cover Tukanda. Yeah, so you can uncheck this so that if you want your analysis to run on everything, not just the map estimate, that's what you zoom towards. You can uncheck this when you have on your analysis. It's something you need to take note of in running your analysis. So we can also call this back conflicts per county Kenya, and run this analysis again. It still take another time again. Apologies. So, okay, while it's running, we can also look at the various features of this conflict data. So you see, like I've said, it's the year and also daily events of this crime. So then you also see the type of conflict it is, the attack, and also what it means. So this, for example, this one is like violence against civilians. So it shows you the act of those people involved in this conflict. It also shows you it doesn't involve civilians, the ethnic group also. It also shows you different admin boundary. Then very important, your latitude and longitude, which is available. It also gives you a note like on summary of what happened at in this conflict. So then our data is finally up. So what we can do, I can remove this table data from here. So what we can do now is, you can see now it's available here. This was the first one that didn't work. So I can remove it here. So I'm going to remove this here. So we are dealing with this one. So you can see now that it shows, while you click on this, it shows it shows for each of the conflict in each of them. So the higher the value, the more bigger the circle. So this circle shows you on this. So I can uncheck this. If I uncheck this, you won't see this. So what I can do now is I can go back to restyle it. Maybe I don't want it to use a circular kind of styling. So I can change the style. I want it to use more like a chlorophyll styling. So I change it from here to this. And I can also change the color. I don't like this color. I want, it's a conflict. It's something that should draw your attention. So I can use something that's close to red, but not actually red. So this is orange range. So I can click on OK here. So you see it uses this. However, I can also change the transparency of it. I can increase its transparency if I don't really want to see more want of it. I can increase the transparency. Let me make it around 60%. So this is it. Then you click on OK if you want, then click on done. So you see various conflicts at various locations. So if you look at places like this conflict data, conflict is on top, and so I can drag it downwards so I can make space so I can be able to see my conflicts. If you look at conflict like Masabit, so you see count of conflict here. Let me show you here the table here. So, oops. What happened? Oh, the page refreshed again. Okay, that means I have to restart up. Okay, the page had to refresh and I didn't save. So that's one of the important why you need to save while you're also working this. I need to start. So I'll quickly go back to where we currently are. Hopefully it's apologies. So I need my health. My conflict in Kenya. So I already have conflict. Okay. So I can use my existing data on conflict in Kenya. Yeah. Okay. So I'll use this for analysis. So you get to so this is conflict per word in Kenya. Like where I stopped previously, I can come here and change this from using circular kind of plot to a chloroplate here. Then I can also change the option here. Change values here, then increase the transparency, make it 50%. And click on the OK, then click on done. So I can also, let me add my conflict data, which I missed. So search for conflicts. Conflict Kenya. Okay, Kenya conflict. So this is it. So I'll quickly add it. So we've already done, we've already passed this part already. Unfortunately, my page had to refresh. So I can come here to filter. I know I need to filter from event dates that is between September 2021 in September to November 2021, 30th November. So I can apply my filter. So this data I've been using. So if I want to also, I can also style, we used the red previously. So I can change the style to red. Go to symbol here. Go to red and click OK, change this to 15. Yeah. Click on OK, then click on done. So this is currently where we are. So if you can observe now, I can look at my table on the conflicts. Not conflicts, sorry, the conflict per county. So I can look at my table here. So this is the count of conflict. And this is also the sum of fatality from the analysis we did. So if I sort this by count of conflicts, if I will sort it descending, so it shows me the count of conflicts. So you can see we have areas, we have 14 incidents, we have area, we have 13, we have areas, we have 10, 7. So 14, 13, and 10 are the highest location. Now let's look at that location on our map. So once I double click on this, it selects that location and shows me on the map. So you see the location on the map here. So that's Nairobi. So Nairobi had about 14 incidents of conflict from September 2021 to November 2021. So the next location had to do with Rift Valley. So the next location had to do with Rift Valley. So if I here is like Apia. So this is the next location that had more conflicts in those locations. So now we've already gotten, we've answered our questions, which says which area has high number of conflicts in location. So we are looking at Nairobi, and we're also looking at the Kipia in Rift Valley, and also looking at Marsabit in eastern part of Kenya. So that's the first part of the question we try to understand. So I'll quickly use the style we used previously to avoid. So you can see these values here. So the next thing we need to understand is what's the relationship between where we're having conflict and also your health locations. So like the data, all this analysis we've done previously had to do with multi-layer. So it had to do with between two different data types. Now we would also look at a single kind of a single kind of analysis. So before we try to do the relationship between the health facilities and also the conflict, we need also to bring in the conflict, understand what's the density or what's the high coverage of conflicts in some areas. So firstly, what we do here is this. So we come in here, we come to analysis. The tool we're using for analysis has to do with analyze pattern. So we want to look at areas with high density. So let's look at, you need to calculate density. So it shows the density map, and we need conflicts. We don't need to add any count value. We just want to see, okay, based on the nearest neighbor, where are the area that has high conflicts. Then for this, we can call it Kenya conflict density. So this is fine, the name is fine. I don't want to use the current map estate. I want you to use everything. I don't want you to make the previous mistake we made. Then you can then run analysis on this. Okay, there's already an existing name with this. So I can change this name to Kenya density. I can use a similar later, Kenya density September to November 21. So if I run this analysis, you can see, so it's most of the time the analysis, it takes a lot of time. So what it shows is going to show you area that has high density of conflicts. So another thing also we would have also loved to show, if not for the luxury of time, it's the distance between from this conflict to this health facility. So if there's more conflict in a particular health, if there's conflict in some location, we can know, okay, how long does it take for these guys to access the nearest health facility? So this the density map. So it shows you that there's high range of conflicts, count of conflict in Nairobi. So this is not surprising because Nairobi is a very popular location. So most activities are going on here. So we also can also see another high density at this location. This is Laikipia, which we also observed previously. There's high density of conflict in those locations. So the question will ask, would people move out from Nairobi because of conflict to some other place? And also for other places that conflict is not highly dense, would people move from there to health facilities? So if I bring in health facility here, I need to bring in health facility. This is going to be the last we'll do. So if I bring in my health facility here, so Health Kenya, If I bring in my health facility here on Kenya, I'll group. Okay, if I bring in health facilities on Kenya. Yeah, so it's been added to our map. So these are various health facilities in Kenya. So you see, there are also health facilities at these locations, even though there are no conflict. There are also health facilities here, but now the health facilities are being categorized. There's hospitals and there's also pharmacy or local pharmacy. Now, once there's high crisis, it's very important that you have a very good hospital that is ready to be able to cater for the need of that pressing situation. So what we need to do next, which we would be doing in our next class, is we're going to filter these hospitals on these health sites on just hospitals alone, and going to see, okay, what's the distance from this conflict location to this health site. Another thing also we also need to also try to do a buffer. So in the nearby of each hospital, we also try to count what's the number of conflicts within that vicinity and what area of hospital have more intensity of crisis within. Like it's not we're using our normal eye, you can see that areas in Kenya, in Nairobi, sorry, would have more intensity of conflict in that area. So that means health facilities, they will have more issues to solve that has to do with either injury due to conflict. So that's where we'll stop for today because of our time. Now, if there's also more time in our next class, while we finish this, we also introduce using Python with ArcGIS. So some of these things, we'll find a way to automate it using Python and create a script that can do everything and also give us reports. So that's where we'll end today for our class due to time constraint. Thank you, everyone. So if you have questions, you can drop your question on the chat window. Okay, let's see if you have any question in the chat window. And also, because of our time constraint, most of what we'll be teaching will just be basic and won't have that extensive logs to show you various complicated or complex way of doing analysis. So it's left for you to, you can check also, there are also materials on Africa Geoportal and what other people have done, and also on ArcGIS. So you can also go through those content and see also how you can also come up to speed with various way of doing analysis. So, but on your own, what we've done to do, I would like to see you do that on your various using your various country as a case study, and also do like a map and share also, so we can see what you've done and also what analysis also you've come up with from this. So that's all we have for this class. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate your time and you spent in coming here. Okay, also be reminded that our next class is going to come up is going to be on Friday, same time, 11 p.m. 11 a.m. sorry. So someone is asking question, is this Google Collaboratory or Notebook? So no, this is not Google Collaboratory, this is ArcGIS online platform which we are using currently for our class. So the next class is going to be we'll use ArcGIS with Python. Still, it's going to be hosted also on ArcGIS online. So for Google Collaboratory, if there's luxury of time, we would also show you how to use spatial analysis on Google Collaboratory or Notebook. if there's luxury of time. But what you do on ArcGIS online platform online is almost the same thing you do on Google Collaboratory, but it becomes very easier in the sense that there are many complicated tools, analytics tools you need to do there. ArcGIS online gives you like an easy to use function, so you don't need to think about codes of what to write on how to, on or what to do. So these are easy tools available for you. Okay, so someone's asking now how you can make use of this one. Like we've said, we sent a mail to everyone, and we've shared this. We give everyone link for them to join Africa Job Portal, and also our group on Geospatial mobility data. So if you've not received the mail, then I think everyone on, as long as you are on this code, that means you've received the mail, which means you need to join the group. There's a link also sent on the chat window to join the group. And also we also have a communication platform on Telegram. So if you have issues with anything, you can also drop them there, and we also answer your question on the Telegram group. So that's all we have here for this class. So thank you, everyone. Once again, don't forget to join our group on Telegram, and also don't forget also to join our platform on ArcGIS online. That's Africa Job Portal platform. The link will be sent on the chat group for both groups. Thank you.